My 24F best friend 24F says I owe her everything I have, including my boyfriend. My 24F best friend, 24F as well, is too handsy with my boyfriend, 26M, and I think it's inappropriate. I know I should be careful calling someone best friend in a post like this, but I don't know how else to call Jessie. Our parents are great friends, so we grew up together, and she kind of had my back in high school. Long story short, on the teenager food chain, she was on top, and I should be on the bottom. But nobody messed with me because I was Jessie's friend. Jessie is one of those people who require attention. I never minded it though. Nobody's perfect, right? But now that I have my first real boyfriend, she doesn't know how to behave. Every time we are together, she is really handsy. Always touching his arms, running her fingers through his hair, complimenting him, and now she even started with the prank spankings on the butt, you know? I just feel really uncomfortable with it. Maybe it's normal. I mean, Jessie has a lot of guy friends, so maybe this is okay? My boyfriend never thought much of it either. Am I just overreacting? She is super pretty, so maybe I'm just jealous? Anyway, yesterday, something really threw me off. Boyfriend had to do some work stuff, and I had to do a book thing. It's a hobby of mine, so we decided to meet later at a friend's house. They were getting together to drink and so on and so forth. Boyfriend finishes work early and calls me, but I don't really need him to come over to the book thing. I know he doesn't like it, so I just tell him to go to the friend's house. Then I start getting texts from Jessie, all like, "Girl, you gotta come to this party now. Your boyfriend is wasted, LOL." And then she sends, "LOL, we are so drunk, you need to come and stop us. I can't behave myself if you don't get here soon," and so on and so forth. The book thing took longer than I thought, and I was just getting mad and madder. But I'm a very non-confrontational person, so I deal with it. I call the boyfriend when it's over because I don't feel like going to this party anymore, but I was his ride, so I ask him if he needs me to pick him up. He says sure. I get there and don't even go inside. I am ready to release the hounds of hell on him, but he gets in my car and he is stone cold sober. I ask him if he was drinking and then show him Jessie's texts. He gets super upset and says she was lying. He wasn't even hanging directly with her. Instead, he was catching up with a friend who just came back to town. He says I should have texted him, letting him know what she was saying so he could confront her about it, since you don't ever seem to be able to give that girl some boundaries, in his words. Now, I am thinking maybe I should talk to Jessie, but maybe she was just drunk and annoying me because she wanted me there? I don't know. I mean, this girl was really nice to me growing up, even when she could have been a jerk. I don't like how she behaves around him, but at the same time, I don't want it to look like I don't trust her. Is there a polite way of going about it? Or should I maybe wait and see if this happens again? Am I overreacting? Update. Thanks to everyone for your comments and help. I decided to talk to Jessie and posted a development to the story. OP, in my opinion, is not overreacting because this woman, Jessie, is practically sexually assaulting her boyfriend by grabbing his buttocks and running her little fingers through his hair with her acrylic nails. Nuh-uh, girlfriend, stop. When I mean girlfriend, I mean Jessie, stop. She wants attention. She's an attention hog. Anyway, let's continue. Update 1. Yesterday, I posted here about how my best friend Jessie is a bit handsy with my boyfriend, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. The TLDR is that she touches him a lot, and then she sent me inappropriate messages when she was at a party with him. I'm very thankful to all of those who commented, especially the ones who encouraged me to say something. I don't like arguments, so those were very important to me. Thank you. Last night, we were alone because she wanted me to help her choose clothes for an event. I was at her place, so I thought I should say something. I wanted to say something. I was very polite and just said that I knew she meant no harm, but I didn't feel good about it. So I asked her if she could tone it down. I should have said stop, but I guess I'm weak. She didn't really say anything mean, but her attitude was a bit off, I think. She was looking at me in a scornful kind of way, and the way she smiled once I was done talking, it just felt weird. She didn't say anything else but, okay, and just moved on to choosing her clothes, and I left after. We were supposed to go get something to eat, but she said she was tired. I am not dumb. She was hurt. So I texted a common friend, more her friend than mine, and without getting into details, I just told him that I talked to Jessie about something that was important to me, but that I was afraid she may have gotten the wrong idea from it. The common friend said, "Look, I don't want to get involved, but you should watch it." I asked what he meant, and he said, "Nothing. Just watch it. A little while after that, he texts me back and says, changed my mind, I do want to get involved, and sends me a bunch of prints of texts going back and forth between him and Jessie. It basically starts with him asking her if the two of us had a fight, because I was worried. He was kind with his words. I didn't mind him stepping in. And then just a non-stop stream of her being horrible. She says I had a big mouth and was judging her behavior because I'm a prude who doesn't know how to be around guys. How she taught me everything I know about having a life, and how dare I tell her what she can or cannot do, or how I should thank her for even having a boyfriend at all. The common friend actually called her out for being rude and no friend of mine. After the prints, he told me, I'm done with her. I give up and you should watch it. He also said it was okay if I told her I had the prints. I didn't though. Didn't know what to say. I mean, she is not 100% wrong, but even though I know that, it really hurts me to read those. This morning, I wake up and see she texted me late at night. She says she know Pete sent me the photos and she didn't mean to be rude, but it's ridiculous that I am jealous of her because if she wanted my boyfriend, she could just have him. She said, you want me to prove it? So what she really meant is that I'm being silly and should drop it. She ends it with kisses and a joke. So I don't know if she was being playful, apologizing, threatening, or being pragmatical. I didn't answer her yet. I don't know what to say. Should I even say something, or should I just let it go? I wish I could talk to someone about this, but I am very private. I usually go to Jessie with these things. Help? Here are some notable comments. One commenter said, sounds like this person is completely wrapped up in their head and have a serious case of overthinking their importance in life, especially others' lives. Obviously, we're all going to tell you to drop her because she's not a desirable person to be around if that's how she acts/talks to you in person and behind your back. This person thinks they own you, so much so that they've decided to let you have your boyfriend? Hell no, that's whack. Also, show your guy everything that's happened because guaranteed she's going to go after him. OP replied, I suppose you're all right. It just gets me, you know? It's a 20-year-long friendship. I keep thinking maybe this is a misunderstanding. She didn't mean it or she's going through a hard time and doesn't know how to deal with it. I am just trying to make sure I am not overreacting, so I needed some outside perspective. As for my boyfriend, I think he would turn her down quite fast. He doesn't really like her. He just hangs with her because of me. He always says that he'd rather not. So it's unlikely that they'd end up being alone together. But I will talk to him. Thank you for the heads up. Update. Turns out she already went after him. I was stupid. So I feel like we're missing a few details here because at the very start of the story, OP said that in school she was at the bottom of the social food chain and that Jessie was at the top. So it feels like, at least from my perspective, having read plenty of these stories, it seems like this whole time, it seems as if Jessie knows she is at the top and that OP is beneath her. And in that way, she can kind of control her. And I'm just assuming that I feel like this whole friendship has so far been predicated off of this dynamic. And now OP has a boyfriend and a part of her life that Jessie cannot control. And that little psycho little girl's like, I can't control the woman I've been controlling for 20 years. We need more details. And thankfully, we're going to get some more. Let's continue. Update number 2. My boyfriend is having sex with her. A friend of mine convinced some other friends to send me prints of text messages between my boyfriend and best friend. They are pretty clear. I confronted my boyfriend. He looked lost, said he loves me and it was just sex. He says Jessie kept throwing herself at him, teasing him, and he said he didn't like her, but I still wanted to hang. He said he just had sex with her to see if she would move on and leave him alone, and that it only happened a couple of times. He says he won't do it anymore. He doesn't even like her. He loves me, and now he's asking me to please forgive him. From the texts, once I finally made it through them all, I think that Jessie went to the party where my boyfriend and her met because she wanted to hook up with him. She had it bad for him, but he didn't feel the same way. She was trying to get him to break up with me, and then to get me to break up with him, and it worked. As of yesterday, he is a single man. In some of those texts, they are talking about some of the hookups. I feel like throwing up. I blocked him because he was still trying to get in touch. I ghosted her, but she sent me a message saying she just heard what happened and you know this was probably for the best, right? And I feel like screaming. I don't know if this is an update or just me venting. Thanks for listening either way. Edit. I don't want to sound melodramatic or sappy or anything, but you all brought me to tears. We keep hearing about how it is insanity to rely on the internet for personal connections, but I just lost a boyfriend, a best friend, and a whole group of friends. And instead of feeling alone, I am more and more feeling like, hell yeah, that was the right thing to do, I will be okay, but it still hurts. But not as much as it would have been if I was really alone. I can't even begin to thank this sub. I really don't know what to say. Even on my previous posts that didn't get as many responses, it was some of the comments there that made me approach the cheating thing knowing I had to break up and move on. So it changed my life in this moment. And considering I will be doing a lot of soul searching on toxic relationships, this probably changed my life for good. So thank you all so much for reaching out to a stranger. This community is so precious. Some of you are asking for an update. I might in a while if there is something new to tell, but right now it's just more of the same. I don't think I will be able to answer all the comments, but I'm trying to at least answer the ones with questions. Thank you. Here are some notable comments. Commenter 1 said, "Well, yeah, I would just ditch that whole friend group and start trying to find new friends. My God, that is some messed up stuff." OP said, "Yup, done and done. I think I'm being too permissive with the word friend. It was going on for months. Everybody knew. Nobody had the decency to tell me. It was only the one friend who wasn't even that close who stood up for me." Commenter 2 said, "You also can't make her hurt. She has no respect for you and clearly doesn't care. So it will be impossible anyways. It would have the same effect as a drunk stranger telling you that you're awful. It might make you angry, but you don't care about that stranger, so what they say is irrelevant. Also, I can't imagine anything so utterly not worth your time. The delightful side effect of just ghosting is that they will stew in it. They want the reaction, but they get none. They realize they lost all their power and never get to know and feel the satisfaction that comes from getting the reaction you wanted." OP said, "I get what you mean. She's still texting me, by the way. I didn't mention one detail because it wasn't important, but we were all going to travel together soon. My family paid for some of Jesse's expenses. She is now messaging me about the vouchers since I have them all. This woman can't even wait a day to ask? It's like she suddenly remembered she still needs me. I mean, I'm not giving them to her either way. Trip is off. Can't she tell?" Commenter 3 said, "She would be more hurt by no response at all to anything ever. OP, go no contact." OP replied with, "I'm very much thinking the silent treatment will be the way to go. I think she just realized that she needs me for the trip. She's been aggressively trying to contact me. Now she is saying that she liked my boyfriend first, and I was the one who stole him. So she is saying that she is the one who should be mad. I know I should just block her everywhere, but is it petty that I am having fun watching her squirm? I wanted to have the last word, but not saying anything is driving her crazy." Commenter 4 said, "Your boyfriend talking about how he wanted to just have sex with her to see if she would leave him alone, and that it only happened a couple of times? Lol, what? Seriously? That is one of the stupidest things I have ever heard. It's like saying, hey babe, I jumped off a cliff because somebody was really pestering me to do it. I feel for you, OP, but what an excuse." OP then replied and said, "I confess, I almost fell for it. How pathetic is that? He was saying he cared about me. It was just a mistake. He thought she would back off. And I felt it was a bad decision on his part, but maybe it made sense, and I could forgive him?" Then he said something like, "And I don't even like her. You were the one who always wanted us to hang out." And that's when my brain joined the party. And I was like, he is seriously trying to blame this on me? No. More comments made by OP. "Most disgusting part is that it is a trip we would take together with my boyfriend and some other friends. So she really thinks I would let my family pay for her to go on vacation with my ex who cheated on me? I'm starting to think this woman is sick, like for real." Another comment said, "I just went straight to venting, didn't I? Sorry." Well, it was all Pete, really. After she texted that she could get my boyfriend if she wanted to, I just answered back with, "WTF, Jesse," and she lolled at it as if it was a joke. After that, Pete texted me and asked me if I was alone. He was really kind and told me everything. He said he had proof and asked if I wanted to see it. I said yes. He had gone after our friends and convinced them to send him prints. He's really well liked by everyone, and he was just the one who said enough. Pete is gay, by the way, just in case anyone jumps the gun like my mom did and think he did this because he's interested in me or something. He's not. He is just a decent person." Next comment. "No, I didn't get prints between the boyfriend and Jesse. I guess I went straight to venting and didn't give much details. Wasn't expecting this response. There was this friend, Pete, who convinced 3 other friends to send him text messages between them, 3 friends, and either Jesse or my boyfriend, so he could have proof, because he thought what was happening was disrespectful and that someone should tell me. There were prints of text messages between 2 friends and Jesse, and 1 other friend and my boyfriend. They were pretty clear. Jesse especially didn't seem to care about hiding it at all. My boyfriend's texts were mostly wondering if I had noticed something and wanting Jessie to back off, while saying she was hot, etc. There was nothing 100% confirmation on his side. It wasn't a talk between him and one of his closest friends, so it was kind of generic. But when I confronted him, I said I had prints, and without saying what they showed, he just confessed. I really appreciate the prints. It was ultimate evidence. But I don't think they did it for me. It's a Pete thing. You'd have to know him to understand. He's the stand-up guy who is everyone's friend. He is a huge people person. I think they sent the prints because it was something for him, you know? He was the one leading the charge and dealing with consequences. If it were just me, I don't think they would have done it. Hey yo, I want to give a shout out to my boy Pete and Christina Applegate. Good for them, yeah. Also, does anyone else find it odd, not in a rude way, that just everybody in this group has prints of conversations, not screenshots? Because I feel like she would say the word screenshots, but it seems like they just have prints of text messages. Like that's something people do all the time? I don't do that. Do you do that? Anyway, there's actually more to this story. So let's continue. Update 3. I said I'd come back if anything relevant happened. My ex-boyfriend kept trying to get in touch through common friends. They kept asking me to unblock him and at least hear him out because he was really sorry and that he loved me and he was a mess. He didn't mean to. Some even went as far to ask me if I was really sure it happened. They offered to send me prints of texts where he was talking about me, so I'd see how he always had great things to say and how much he cared. But I've had it with the print screen drama for life and said no. To the ones who insisted, I told them I wasn't unblocking him. Had nothing to say or hear, and if they kept pushing me, I'd block them too. Then I ran into my ex-boyfriend at this book thing that I often go to. It's a hobby of mine, and maybe I'm being presumptuous, but I think he went there for me. He didn't really have any business there, but I'm just speculating really. He asked if I had a few minutes for coffee. I said I was late, which was a lie, but then he walked me to my car. He looked so good, smelled great, he was so sweet. He was even wearing his hair the way I like it. I feel horrible because even after everything, I still like him. He apologized some more and said he knew I needed time and space, but asked if I'd consider giving him another chance because he would wait for me. He said he would never talk to Jesse again and would act like they had restraining orders against each other. And I just found it really funny how everything he was saying required me trusting him, which I don't. So I told him I wasn't interested anymore and he should move on. I wish I said something snappier or wittier, but I had nothing. This was Saturday. I haven't heard from him or friends since. I think that was that. Jesse has also kept trying to talk to me. Like I told some of you in the comments, I had a trip coming up. It would have been me, Jesse, my ex-boyfriend, and a few friends. Since Jesse couldn't afford it, my parents paid for most of her expenses. She must have remembered this right after everything went down and panicked because I had everything. Vouchers, confirmation emails, credit card info, etc. And she went crazy. She even showed up at my place. I wasn't home and my roommate told her to F off, exact words. I didn't block her at first because I admit I was having some fun watching her despair. I talked to my mom and she was amazing. She told me I should cancel everything. Even if it costed us money, it was fine. So I did. And for one last bit of print screen drama, I printed all the emails I got confirming cancellations and sent those to Jessie with the word bye before blocking her. My roommate has been amazing. We were never really close, and now I don't even know why. She canceled plans with her friends to stay with me and invited me to go out with them next weekend. A few of you suggested I see a therapist, and I did. Yesterday. I really liked it. It was just one appointment and I mostly just talked, but I felt good. She gave me homework. She talked a little about unhealthy and abusive relationships and asked me to think about my friendship with Jesse and try to point out what was healthy and what was unhealthy about it. And it made me realize she was never really my friend. She was taking advantage of me for years, and she even had me thanking her for it. The therapist also told me about the saying, I think that's what it is, called the narcissist's prayer, which goes something like, that didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't my fault. If it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, then you deserved it. Which is totally how Jesse is handling this whole thing right now. So good riddance indeed. And one final piece of gossip. Pete talked to me yesterday. He is checking up sometimes. He's a good guy. And again, he is gay, in case someone is still thinking this might turn into a romantic comedy. And he said Jessie was super sure that since I broke things off, she and my ex-boyfriend would hook up right away. But apparently, he doesn't have the same plans, and that freaked her out over the weekend. Pete says he really is a mess and went out drinking hard 4 nights in a row, to the point he had to be carried home by his pals. And yesterday, they all went out for lunch at this burger place. Jessie was going to run her fingers through his hair or something, and he just pushed her away and told her to stop and to never touch him again. Great that now he manages to do that, huh? I guess in the end, he really did like me in his sick way. The thing is, I don't want to be with someone who likes me in a sick way. I want to be with someone who likes me in a healthy way. I think I deserve that. I am also thinking about taking the money I got back from the trip to go somewhere else by myself. I haven't decided though. Anyway, this will be the final update on this, since it is unlikely that I will have anything new to add. Now, I think I just need time to heal and let go, you know? I might come back in a few months if there is a reason to update a "Yay, life is awesome now" post, but I just wanted to post this update now in case I wanted to end this whole story on a bright note. And of course, thank you all again. You all are the best. And to think I almost went the whole video without recommending therapy. Good for OP for realizing that she needs to stand up for herself. And it seems like I kind of called the dynamic earlier. Again, I'm not some therapist, but you see enough of these posts and they kind of go like 5 to 10 different routes, and this was just one of them that I've seen before. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with OP? Do you support cheating? Is Jessie, I don't know, like what is there to discuss here? We can just comment and rag on Jessie and be like, wow, she's so terrible and a narcissist and she sucks. We could talk about the boyfriend and his horrible excuse. Babe, she kept pushing on me, so I slept with her to see if she would leave me alone. Bro, what? Come on. Okay, I'm done. Bye-bye.